Alright, I'm going to try to keep this kind of short. None of this is stuff that you can just buy at Best Buy anymore. It's pretty old stuff, but it sounds good. I got this old Technics, what the hell was this? SU-Z600 and a couple Sony model SS-U261 speakers. I paid a total of less than 40 bucks for this stuff. Sounds great. Can't complain. If you can find this stuff on eBay, I highly recommend it. It's got a decent amount of bass, but when you're listening to somebody just talk, like if you want to watch movies, you expect there to be a decent amount of bass, but you don't want vocals to sound fucked up. It sounds good. So let's go over exact features, I guess, here. And I'll do some more rambling at the end if you want to stick around for that. It's upside down here because, well, I was going to do a close-up of that model number, but whatever. It's about a 10 or... No, that's about a 10 or 12 inch speaker. A little 3-inch tweeter, and then another little 1.5-inch tweeter down there. An amp, because, you know, that's speaker. There's not much to go about it. Oh, they're 200 watt speakers. 200 watts each. As you can probably tell by looking at this thing, pretty old. Old incandescent lights for the backlight there. The input selector uses LEDs though. I do a demo of the sound, but of course, you're not going to be able to hear how good it sounds like over a microphone. Got treble and bass, quite a bit of adjustment. According to a site, and I'll have the sources linked in the video description, you can get plus or minus 10 decibels on the treble and the bass with these adjustments. And this loudness button over here, it's just a bass boost button that can increase the bass another 10 decibels, which is quite a bit. Loudness. When I'm listening to music through my PC or anything really, I never go above 5. It's one thing I don't like about a lot of newer systems. You can be listening to a quiet video, want to turn it up a lot, and it just doesn't sound loud enough. I crank this thing all up to 10. There could be a horribly quiet YouTube video where somebody's whispering. You're going to hear them. So that's nice. 3 inputs. They're all just analog RCA. 3 inputs here. And then this tape / monitor. Make sure you guys can see that. When you hit that tape / monitor button, it sends whichever input you're using, one of these 3, out here. You could connect it to something like an equalizer, and then send the output of the equalizer back in here. Or, if you really wanted to, you could just use this input as a 4th input, and when you want to use that input, just hit the tape monitor button. There are 2 sets of outputs, but they're not using separate amps. It's literally like just taking 2 speakers and then hooking them in to the same plug. So if you got 2 sets of 8 ohm speakers and you're using them both at the same time, it's effectively 4 ohms. But luckily, it's able to handle that. It even says right here on the switch, which you got to change if you want higher ohm speakers, 4 to 8 ohm, or if you switch it down, 8 to 16. You guys see that a little better. But these speakers, these Sonys, they're 8 ohm, so I just leave that there. It's got like a lot of older systems do. It's got a extra AC outputs, 2 of which are on switch. It's got the max rating for how much power it can draw, then a 50 watt switched output. I had to find the power plug for it, but luckily it's just like a lot of cheap portable radios that you can buy at Walmart. I literally just went to a Goodwill and looked through their wire bin and paid $1 for the cord I needed. I'd suggest looking at the links in the description. I'll give you detailed specs with distortion levels and all that crap for this thing. Oh yeah, down there you can see the switches to change between each set of speakers and everything I just showed earlier. It consumes 280 watts according to the sticker on the bottom and the manual that I looked up online. It outputs 70 watts per channel, so in ideal circumstances this thing's only 50% efficient, which who cares, it sounds good, honestly. That's my opinion of it. Now, the reason I bought these speakers, again, I got them from a Salvation Army, is because I had an old Sony. It was a hand-me-down from my dad, way back when I was living with my mom at 14 years old. Same kind of speakers. I knew they sounded great. These ones, the only difference is the mesh, as you've seen, I pulled off the front. The old set, you'd actually have to rip the front off and actually cut the glue off to get the speakers out, or just cut the screen off. But other than that, as far as I can tell, they're exactly the same. So they're probably, I know the last set, that stereo and the speakers were made in 94, so I have to imagine this was probably made in like 95, 96. I think I already said the receiver itself was actually made in 84. Again, that'll be in the description if you want to look into all those little details. But, yeah. These speakers sound just as good as those ones I remember. Oh, there was more crap I was going to go into. Well, I done forgot, so see you next time. Again, highly recommend this stuff if you can find it cheap. I've seen some of these stereos going for about $50 on eBay.